Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and as you can see we finally got to it. We're finally doing the Gurguit deck profile, and I'm sorry that this got postponed so much. There was a lot of school tasks and just life getting in the way. But I finally got to it. I'm finally doing this deck profile, and let's do it with our starting Vanguard, which is Knight of Early Dawn Cole. He has the Forerunner skill obviously, and GB1 Unite. Put him into the soul, look at the top three, choose one, and the rest go back to the deck, shuffle it, and the unit you superior call gets +2, which is quite good, especially if you have to fill up your field. Next up, we have our main card, Sunrise Ray Knight Gurguit. He has the GB2 skill, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. At the beginning of the guard step, this unit was attacked. You can look at the top 4 cards, choose up to one of them, and call it to guard zone, which is really handy. But, that's quite obvious. And his on-stride skill is Counter Blast 1. During turn when your G unit stride, you may look at the top 4 cards, choose one, call it to rearguard, and give it +2. Then, for our other grade 3, we have Dongle. His GB1 Unite is he gains Intercept, and when he intercepts, you can give him +5000. Also, his normal on-play skill on Rearguard is he gains Boost. So, a 10k boost can be quite handy. Next up is Holy Mage Quill. His skill is GB1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, Counter Blast 1, and when he's boosted, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, search for up to one of them, and call it to rearguard. So, quite easy to get some superior calls off. Not always that necessary, but when you need it, it'll be right there. Especially if you can't stride, it's handy to at least get a pull off. Next up, we have Holy Mage Elio. His skill is Counter Blast 1 and put him into the soul. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, search for up to one card from among them, and call it to rearguard. The rest go to the bottom of your deck. The handy thing about him is he's not GB restricted, he's not Unite restricted, so he's really good for early game. Just to mess with your opponent, get those attacks either through or forcing hand from your opponent. So I do really like Elio. Next up, we use 2 Knight of Faint Sun Marcia. Her skill is Unite, also non-GB restricted. She goes into the soul, and at the end of each turn you may pay the cost. If you do, counter charge 1, and she has resist. The only downside is she has an 8k body, but it isn't that bad. It's really good to have that extra soul and that unflip, which is kind of necessary in this build in my opinion. And the last card is Knight of Remaining Sun Henrius. His skill is GB1, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. When he is placed on rearguard, you can look at the top 3 cards and superior call 1 card. If you have a Vanguard with Gurguit, he and the unit you superior call get +3. So that's quite handy. It says saved me on numerous occasions, just that little power boost when you're on Gurguit. It's quite surprising. Next up, we have our Strive Father, Gurguit. It's, Strive Father. Then we have 2 Holy Mage Connors. When this unit is placed on rearguard or guard zone from your deck, so when he's superior called, you can Soul Blast 1 and he gets +5000 power and +5000 shield. So usually you're going to use him as a superior guard, just in case. Next up is a really good card in my opinion, and I might bump him up to 3. It's Knight of Morning Light Hossa. He has GB1 Unite. When this unit is placed on rearguard, when your other unit is placed on rearguard, choose one of your other units in the same column as this unit, and both of them get +2. which is really handy when it actually starts stacking. I was quite surprised by how strong this unit can get. Then we have Sunshine Knight Jeffrey. He has GB1 Unite as well. This is a Unite Gurguit deck after all. Put him into your soul. At the end of a battle that this unit boosted, you may pay the cost, and you draw a card, which is really handy. I do have to say, you might tend to either deck out or, win the game, but there's a strong chance that you will deck out if the game drags on too long. Then we use 3 of the trial deck perfect guards. You could use the unflip perfect guards, but I do think we have enough unflippers in this deck, and I prefer using her so you can superior guard with Gurguit. And the last grade 1 is Holy Mage Arena. She's just an occasional card. I might change her to a perfect guard as well, but at the moment it's still Arena because she has been handy. Her skill is Counterblast 1 when she's played on guard zone. During the turn that your Vanguard was attacked, you may use a Quintet Wall, which is kind of what she is. And her other skill is choose a card from your hand and discard it. When this unit is placed on guard zone from your deck, you may return her to your hand, call the top card of your deck, and this unit gets plus 5,000. So that could be handy. You never know, it's kind of optional, but then you will have a Quintet Wall. Okay, let's clear some space. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying something a little different, so I'll hear from you guys how that works out. Now that we have a little bit of space, I can go for the trigger lineup, starting off with 3 Scarface line. It's the Gurguit crit. He goes into the soul when your Vanguard attacks. If you have a Vanguard with Gurguit in its name, you may draw a card and give your Vanguard plus 5. So I think these are quite staple in the Strider decks usually. Then you have Flame of Victory. Put him into the soul from rearguard. Choose up to 1 card, one of your units, and it gets plus 3. So a crit. Then 4 stands. Layer of the Holy Pipe Gary. The skill is Unite GB1. This unit gets plus 3,000, and at the end of a battle that this unit attacked or boosted, you can go into the soul and unflip 1. Really good unit. It's just so funny that this unit can really help out at times. It's just, a stand trigger, but it can go for 7k or higher, depending on where you put him or who you call them out with. And then he supplies soul and unflips, which is really handy in this deck. And then last but not least, 4 heals, which is standard issue. Next up, the strides. Starting off with the newest stride, Golden Dragon, Glorious Reigning Dragon. So 2 of him. I'm gonna put him off to the side. His skill is Unite, Counterblast 1, and choose a face down, Golden Reigning Dragon, and turn it face up. Choose 2 of your rearguards and put them on the bottom of the deck in any order. When this unit attack, you may pay the cost. Look at the top 7 cards, and you may superior call the same amount as the number of face-up cards in your G zone. And if you call 3 or more, unflip and soul charge. So that can be quite handy, especially during late game or early game if you want only 1 superior call. But I prefer using him late game to get an entire new field just for the extra attacks. Next up we have Sunrise Ray Radiant Sword, Gurguit. This is like the MVP, obviously. He has GB2 Unite, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. This unit gets plus 5,000 for each of your rearguards, and choose up to 5 of your rearguards and they get plus 5,000. So this card can stack up some real power, but I'm sure all of you know that. And I really like this card. I like power creeps, and Gurguit does deliver on that part. I still use 2 Golden Dragon Spearcross Dragons. His skill is Counterblast 2 and choose a face down Golden Dragon Spearcross. And when this unit is placed, if the number of cards in your G zone is 1 or more, look at the top 5 and search for up to 1 card, call it to an open rearguard. This is usually quite optional. I don't use him that often, but I do think he can be helpful at times. And it's kind of the same skill as Raining Dragon, only a bit costlier. But you know, that's usually after I've used Raining Dragon already. Then, 2 Scorchbone Dragons. This is also quite a power creep. When your unit is placed on rearguard from deck, this unit and that unit get plus 5,000, which can easily stack. And is, you know, I think he's still one of the main Gold Paladin strides. Next up for my usually first stride is Golden Dragon Rising Shine Dragon. His skill is Counterblast 1 and choose a phase zone card from your G zone. Doesn't matter which one. When this attack hits, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, search for up to 2 of them, and Superior Call. So I do like this card. It's actually really handy first turn stride, and it gives the on-hit pressure. Next up, Golden Knight of Incandescence, Ibrochus. His skill is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, search for up to 1 card from among them, call to an open rearguard, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. So that's just to get off your superior calls. Superior calls. And he could be a first stride or Rising Shine Dragon, but I do tend to go with Rising Shine Dragon and him more as an optional one. Then for the G guards, we have 2 Slay Me Flares. His skill is choose one of your rear guards and put it on the bottom of your deck. When this unit is placed on guard zone, look at the top 5 cards and look for 2 cards with different grades and put them in the guard zone. So that does help out quite a lot if you have the feel for it, but usually with Gold Paladin you do, and that can give you easily 30,000 shield. Next up, our last card is Sacred Heaven Prayer Master, Rhea. When she's placed on the guard zone, if you have 2 or more rear guards, which you usually do, she gets plus 5,000. So that's quite handy. And there we go. This is the Gurguit deck profile that I've been using. I do really like it, and I'm probably going to keep using it. I mean, Gold Paladin. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.